And it looks like we are live. So welcome everybody to the 29-minute Hangout. Once again, believe it or not, Chef Katrina, this is week 15. We've been doing this for 15 weeks in a row already. And
Wow.
so we have a very special guest with us tonight. I am Chef Doug DiMercurio, here with my partner, Chef Katrina Van Oudhuizen. Did I say that right? I keep
Pretty darn
practicing
close.
every week. Okay, I'll get it right one of these weeks. And a very special guest who will introduce momentarily here. But first and foremost, I guess, Katrina, I'll let you take care of all the housekeeping stuff, which there's very little of it because we only have 29 minutes. So go
All
ahead.
right. So you guys know we have got 29 minutes. This is your opportunity to ask questions, engage. The Q&A box is open. We do have this for 29 minutes. We're looking forward to getting to know Mark today and picking his brain. So I'm going to hand this back over to Doug and let you introduce Mark and just rave about him. And I can't wait to interview him and pick his brain tonight. It's going to be fun.
Okay. Well, great. Well, tonight we have with us, and there he is on the big screen, Mr. Mark Harbert. He's one of the top video marketers, but he's much more than that. He's an all-around, complete internet marketer, and video has been one of his specialties for quite a long time. And rather than me extol all your virtues, Mark, I'm going to let you give us, a brief background on you, on yourself. With the understanding, and as you understand, we only have 29 minutes. So give us a little bit about how you got into the business and what's going on.
Well, like a lot of people, I got started in the home business industry and network marketing, and got going, had fun, hit my warm market up about 20 times, and after I figured out that they really didn't want what I had, I kind of just started venturing out on the internet. And I realized that I needed to learn lead generation, and that's where I, kind of started my quest, and that was back in, like 2000, late 2008, and it's just ever since I've been pursuing it. And I really kind of started getting my success as a video marketer, and I do video now. I mean, I've really branched off into all things traffic, lead generation, training, so I kind of have really spread my wings a lot, and have learned a ton of strategies and stuff. But for me, the marketing's an addiction, man. I mean, I love it. It's fun. It's challenging. It's, I mean, what do you say? It's just it's not work for me. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like playing video games and getting paid to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even play video games, but this is like a video game. I feel like I'm playing Atari,
Yeah. Exactly.
All the young people are like, "What is Atari?" Yeah.
Yeah. So, take us through. I mean, because I know your background a little bit, and you may or may not remember, but I did meet you at one of the early, actually the first time when you met your former partner, or
Yeah, I
interim
remember.
partner with Frank. I met you at one of the live events there. And you have a great story, because I mean, you really are a rags to riches story, and there's a lot of them out there. But you went through that transition of kind of being all alone. You were in a foreign country.
Yeah.
And then you built. You met somebody online who was in another foreign country on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Created a joint venture, and built a business. And now you guys have both become successful and kind of gone. Now you're going in your own direction. So take us, quickly through, how did all those transitions occur, and how did that evolve?
Well, mainly, I was going online. I was living in Chile at the time, and I was doing kind of my own tech work. I was really building websites. I was doing kind of some virtual assistant type work, and it was good money, but it was very freelance. It wasn't like consistent or anything like that. And I was doing internet marketing, but really wasn't succeeding at it because I wasn't consistent at it. And I was just kind of going at it, and I got involved in a 100-day challenge online, and that's where I met Frank. Him and I connected, and we were both completely broke. Frank buddy of mine, and we were both just completely broke, and we got to a point where we were both so broke, and we were both entirely sick of being broke. And it was one point where I didn't even know how I was going to put groceries in the in the refrigerator. I mean, I knew I'd be okay for a couple weeks. I had a little storage built up, but I was when you're broke and you're just sick and tired of it. I mean, you finally reach that point where it's like I've had enough, and you just something snaps in you, and it's like I'm never going down this road again. And that's when it just started taking action. And it was from that point, 90 days later, I had my first 5-figure month. So, you can make change very quickly. You just have to make a decision and go do it. And for me, that's what happened. So,
and you went from broke to a 5-figure month in 90 days.
90 days. Yeah.
What did you do in those 90 days?
Work my ass off.
So,
some people.
Yeah, I get that statement, and I can say the same thing. Yeah. But what does that mean?
Yeah, well, it really comes down to that. I just put my head to the grindstone, and started going to it, and was putting out videos, cranking out content. I was on the phone constantly. I was working. I just knew what I wanted, and I wasn't going to stop till I got it. And that really is a huge key, is just going at something with like a reckless abandon. Like, I don't care, I'm going to get it. And you're just knocking every obstacle out of the way as you're going for it.
Yeah.
And before it was like I would go for it, but the obstacles would get in the way, and I'd be like, okay, I'll stand back, But when you're broke and you're looking to make some money so you can put food on the table, it's either make it or break it. And yeah. I was make it, I was going all the way. So it's a mental thing. It's kind of hard to describe, but I feel like you got to put yourself in like this state where I think a lot of people have too many options. Well, if this doesn't work out, then I've still got this, and I didn't have this. It was either this or nothing. And or go get a job that paid me, an eighth of what I would, need to pay the bills. And it was just a matter of something snapped, something snapped in my head, and it was, I'm either doing this or I'm not. And I went and did it. Plus, my wife told me that if I didn't, I had to go get a job, so that helped. But, just something happens, and the work becomes secondary. You're like, I don't care what I got to do, I just got to do it.
Yeah. So and from listening to what you're saying, it's not even like I'm going to do this or not. It's like I'm going to do this. Yeah. And that's all there is to it.
That's exactly what it is.
There is no not.
There's not even an if in there. It's like I will do this.
Right.
And I'm going to do it fast.
There's no fear of failure, because you realize that it's either I'm going to do this or I'm going to do this. Like,
failure's not an option.
Yeah, there's nowhere else to go but forward, so might as well go.
Yeah, there's really nothing else. And it's pretty amazing, because I think as human beings, when we're put into like a position where you're backed into a corner and you've got to get out of the corner, we can do amazing things. But the problem is we're still in the middle of the room half the time, mentally. And like I said, it's like options. Well, I've got this over here I can always fall back on. I've got my career, I can make good money there, or I'm not really happy, but I'm still comfortable there, and that just sabotages people. I mean, honestly, it really does. And for me, I could not use that luxury anymore. And I had used it for many years. Yeah. And I finally just decided to get rid of it.
So you've coached a lot of people.
Yeah.
And how does this come into play with your coaching?
Yeah, I have a lot of coaching clients, actually, and my Fridays are just pure coaching day. I mean, I get up, do my thing in the morning, and all day I coach people. But it plays into that because I don't know. There's something that I love about getting in and helping people on a one-on-one basis. and helping people have breakthroughs, because a lot of people actually struggle in the online game with traffic and leads. That's like the first step of many. You know, but that's like the biggest hurdle to help people over. And once they start getting that, then they can start tweaking all the rest of the stuff. But for me, you know, to see somebody have like their first, 10 lead day or 20 lead day really gets me excited. I mean, those are the little things that I get excited about. So, for me to help them, that's an incredible thing. But the first thing that I always tell all my new coaching clients, when the first session I have with them, is I tell them, you've got to commit to the process. You have to commit to the process. It is a process. You can't, it's a journey, and everybody's got to go on their journey. It may be, a short period for you, it might be, much longer for somebody else. For me, it was a long journey until I finally decided, and then the journey was actually much shorter, to where I wanted to get. But it was that elusive $10,000 per month. Everybody wants the $10,000 per month, So for me, that's what it was. But it plays a lot into the coaching. I can take my experiences and pass it on. So.
Awesome. So I have a quick question for you. When you first started, because you said you were dead broke, and you kind of went into the video realm, so what did you use for a camera? Like, what was your, you didn't have the high-end mic that you have now. You didn't have probably some of the camera equipment now. So what did you use?
I had a laptop with a monitor that I took down to Chile with me. I packed it in my suitcase. I only took two suitcases. And one of them was a monitor was inside of it. It was taking up like a huge portion of the weight. And I had a monitor that connected to my laptop, and all I had was a $50 webcam that I took down with me too. That was it. I didn't have anything. And believe it or not, the majority of the videos that I still create today are the camera on my computer that I'm using right now. Or I use, my iPhone. I really don't use anything fancy. When you think of a video marketer, you think of a guy that has all this studio equipment. I've got an $80 light set I got on Amazon. This microphone's only $100. It looks fancy, but $100. And I don't really do much other than just share value on video. I don't even really edit my videos much. I do some, but I just communicate my message, and that's it.
How long is your average video? Like, especially in the beginning, was it like 5 minutes, or do you have like a time frame for keeping videos?
Around 5 minutes. It just depends. If you're doing a video like a tutorial, or you're doing something to show people something, then you can go a little longer. Maybe 10, 15 minutes tops. But the truth is that we all watch YouTube videos. We all watch videos online, and the first thing we all do is look at how long the video is. I do all the time. And I make a split-second decision, do I want to stick around and invest this long of my life watching this? And so a lot of times I favor the short videos, 3 to 5 minutes tops. Because most people, if you catch them and your content's good, they'll stick around. At least 50 to 60%. So. Okay.
Did you have a fear of getting on camera when you first started? Like, were you like, oh my God, my hair looks bad, or my voice sounds weird, or people aren't gonna, want to see me, kind of a thing?
Yeah. My first video was actually back in late 2008. So, and I remember being a little nervous about it, but after I did it, the first time, which took me about 20 takes to do the first one, after that, I just kind of got over it. Some people, get a little nervous about it, but the truth is that the reason most people fear it is because they're kind of afraid of criticism. And the truth is if you can get past that and don't worry about what other people think, because really other people aren't thinking of you, and if they are critical, it's just a reflection of them, and their mentality. So you can't take it personal. I've gotten some doozies of comments, over the years in video marketing, and it kind of bounces off me, So you just gotta kind of, let it go. Don't let it get to you. And but yeah, I was afraid at first, but after the first or second video, it went away pretty quick.
Yeah, so I think about that because I think when I first started as well, and I think back on it's like Yeah, it took me. I spent more than 20 takes on my first one. I mean,
Yeah.
I wrote out the script and I had it taped above the monitor, and and I over and over and over again. And it's like, oh, and you can, and I go back and look at that. I still have it,
Yeah.
and you could tell. I mean, my eyes were shifting up to read and then go back, and all of that stuff. It's like, oh, this is so. When I look at it now, it's so bad. And if I looked at it 30 days later, I still thought it was bad.
Yeah.
When I look at it now, I thought, man, I'm sure glad I did that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what's interesting, and it's funny you mentioned that because we are our own worst critic. I mean, hands down, we criticize ourselves more than anybody else. And the truth is that it's funny, I have people that come to me like, Mark, you're so good in your videos. I wish I could. I mean, I've had people say this, you're just so good. I mean, it's like stuff rolls off, and I watch my videos, and I'm like, oh man, I'm such a dork. I'm sitting here telling myself this, and I do the same thing, and we look at everybody else, and we're always like, I always tell people too, like comparing yourself to other people is the absolute worst thing in the world you could ever do. You're comparing the worst of yourself to the best of them. You know what I mean? And it's just not an apples to apples comparison. And so you really do yourself a disservice when you compare yourself to other people because we're each unique. People that are going to like me, may not like you, and people that like you may not like me. So you're going to attract the right people. And so we just have to stop being our own worst critic, man. And I learned to do that, and I still do it, but not so bad, not as much as I used to.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way around that. And what's interesting is that the things that when we see other videos and the things that we're most critical about those videos, those are the things that we do ourselves that we don't like about ourselves.
Yeah.
Does that? I don't know if that makes sense. And so the things that other people see that they don't like in our videos, that's what they do, and it's the things that they don't like about themselves.
Yeah.
So that's it's just one of those things. Just be who you are. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to be different. Just be who you are and love who you are. And if people don't like you, that's okay because they're just like you, and they don't like that about themselves.
True.
Well, and what's interesting, I mean, I'll give you an example. Like when I was in Chile, I was creating videos, and you guys probably remember the green wall in the back. I thought about doing like a a remake, but anyway, I was living in a house in Chile that was like 40 years old, and the houses there are all made of concrete. So the paint on the wall is old, it's peeling off, it's bubbling, because it's concrete behind it, and it looks like total crap. And here I am creating these videos, and people are worried about what things look like. I'm like, do you look at the background of my... Guys, I'm like, I built a 6-figure business, video marketing, with a green crappy wall with paint peeling off. And I was getting comments from people. I remember one guy commented, he's like, oh yeah, you're really making money. Look at that paint peeling off the back wall. And I'm like, actually I am making money. a lot, So
this is my budget green screen.
Yeah. So you'd be surprised. I mean, the things we worry about half the time are just, they're so irrelevant. They really are so irrelevant.
Yeah.
If you care about it, everybody else is going to care. If you don't care, nobody else will care. And I didn't care about the greenback. I just didn't care.
Yeah.
So that led me to a question actually from our audience. Hillary has got a question. Is that would you recommend writing out a script for your video, or do you do freestyle?
I'm a freestyle guy. I'm not a big fan of scripts. I'm okay with scripts if you read through them and get the gist of it, get the idea from it. But I personally love coming from the heart. Have an idea of what you want to talk about, and maybe if you want to have even a couple points jotted down. But I love freestyling. I love to just have a couple points and hit on those points and let the knowledge flow. I've actually seen people script videos and they're reading it, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of the teleprompters, all that stuff. I'm sure that stuff, it it serves a purpose, but me, I'm more of a freestyle guy, and it's always served me well. You know.
Yeah. No, and I agree with that one totally. But another question from our audience, real quick, is that you talked about, you know, getting into this and building with video. When did you recognize that you were going to turn it into a product and start coaching people on it and making this part of your business?
Yeah, when I started getting some results. Actually, our biggest product, you know, that Frank and I did, Tube Traffic Mojo, which I think to date that's sold something like 1,200 copies now, which is really good. You know, it's great. But how that really started was we were just generating hordes of leads, and we just turned around. We decided we were going to teach our team these strategies. So we started, and then we realized, well, we just need to make a course. So all this teaching of our team turned into like this big beta test for like 3-4 months, and people started getting results, and we just started creating the course. And next thing you know, we had a course and we launched it. So it's cool.
So just based off of some of your results that you were getting, just the fact, was it like a massive amount of results, or was it like, hey, I'm getting, you know, 5 or 6 leads a day, this is worthy enough to share and teach people and see if I can get other people to duplicate this?
They got massive results.
Yeah, in our case, it was pretty massive. I mean, you know, there was one point where I was getting like 120 leads a day. Frank was getting like I think he was getting like 150. We were ranking on Google for some major keywords, so I mean, we were nailing it hard. So, but really, ultimately, here's the thing, and I caution everybody that hears this. Again, don't compare yourself to me. You see, we were getting major results, but there's people out there that don't even know how to get 5 leads. And if you do it and you get 5 leads, you should go teach people how to get 5 leads with video. What did you do? And you know, results are results. I don't care how big or how small they are, they're results. And there's somebody out there that has less results than you, so go teach them. You know? So.
And that's true. It's like you've got to teach people. There are brand new people that are coming into this industry, you know, whether internet marketing, network marketing, building a home-based business or whatever, that are looking for a way to build, and they have no clue. And if you can show them how to get 1 or 2 leads, that's better than they've ever gotten before.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So.
I think we underestimate or undervalue what we do accomplish online because we don't have a group around us to compare it to.
Well, it's true, and you know, I've actually had people say to me before, well, you were able to do well with that because you got a following. You know, you got a list. You've built a list. And I'm like, there was a day when I had 0 leads. Okay, we all had to start somewhere. You know, and it wasn't, you know, just not even a handful of years ago when I had, nobody knew who I was. You know, I was in the same boat. I mean, you know, we can use that as an excuse or use it as a reason. You know, I'm a big guy that's take your excuses and turn them into reasons, you know. And, you know, it really doesn't matter where you're at if you've got the drive. I mean, it's really not that difficult. Just go out and produce some results, and people will start seeing it. You know, they'll start recognizing it. That's all it takes.
Yeah. And you made a very valid point, too, in saying that it's consistently, like, spend some time, commit to the process. And it could be a 6-month process, it could be a year process, or it could be a 2-year process or longer.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of, you know, that not quit attitude. And but you have to do consistent action. I was very inconsistent for a long time. There's still a lot of things I'm inconsistent in. I mean, honestly, I still fight with consistency, but I do it, and I know how to be, you know, I know what to do, the right actions, let's say. And so sometimes when I'm a little inconsistent, I can still make up for it in grit, I guess.
Yeah. So now's the time that you've dreaded the most, Mark, and I'm going to ask you the question.
Sure.
You know, what is something that nobody else knows about you?
Oh boy. Let's see. Man, what is it about me nobody knows? It's kind of hard, man, because I share everything.
What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, okay, yeah. I love like cookie dough ice cream. Oh man, that's really good. Yeah, that's really good. And you guys are chefs, so maybe when I see you, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I know. She let you off the hook easy there. So
Yeah.
I had you sweating for a little bit, but that's
Okay,
okay.
I have one.
I try to do this on every show.
I've got one. I have to admit, I like watching chick flicks with my wife. All right, there you
Okay, okay. Well, that'll gain you a lot of brownie points.
go. Yeah,
with,
oh yeah,
with
that's
the
what matters.
female crowd. That's right.
So,
So
real
good
quick,
job.
real quick for you, we got another question from Hillary. We've got Hillary and Bernadette are having fun with this. So, when you talked about building your list, are you building an email list or are you building a subscription following on YouTube?
That's all. I consider all of that a list. I have an email list. I have a Facebook fan page following. I have, YouTube subscriptions. I haven't, to be honest with you, I don't have a ton of focus on YouTube at the moment. My big thing is Facebook right now. Like I'm really building a big, big audience on Facebook, and I use video. I use it all. It's all meshed together, But I've been doing some studying on some of the latest things on YouTube, so I'm going to be bursting out on some YouTube stuff here pretty soon. So I'm keeping my eye on what's going on, tapped in. So
yeah. So I mean, Facebook is coming out with some new hosting options, I hear, in the future, and
yeah,
I'm sure
they're actually available already for video hosting. So
okay. So there's some exciting news for everybody, and I'm sure YouTube is going to fire back with with theirs. So we're into the last few minutes here. I want to give people an opportunity to connect with you. What's the best way that people can find you online? I'm not going to say otherwise, because I don't want them stalking you. So what's the best way for people to connect with you and find out where you are and what you have to offer?
Just head over to my blog, markharbert.com. I mean, that's really, where I hang out. It's where I do my thing. And, I am on Facebook too, but my blog is just the main one. So best way to find me.
Okay. Great.
And so if we go to your blog, we can find you there, and then we can find you through social media from your blog also.
Yeah. Yep. So definitely.
Very good. So what new and exciting things do you have coming up in the future?
Well, I'm a product creation guy. I love doing product. I create my products through live training. So I got one that I'm working on, putting together, going to be launching here soon. But it's called Audience Building Secrets. So I'm really focused on building an audience, building a following, and there's a lot of power in that. A lot of people think you've got to have this massive email list to make things happen, but you really don't. If you have a loyal following, you have people that trust you, know you, like you, you can make a lot of money.
Right. Yeah. So it's more than just building a list. It's building a list of people who are pretty much, not just followers, but kind of raving fans.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly.
Great. So Katrina, I'm going to let you do. Yeah. Katrina, I know we're getting down to the 2-minute warning here, whatever inside of that. So I'll let you do the final question and the wrap up here.
Yeah, so real quick, you got about 30 seconds. What was your biggest challenge you faced when you first got started and you said, I got to commit to this? What was your biggest challenge you had to get through in the very beginning?
My biggest challenge was me. Honestly, I mean, I had to get over myself. I mean, I had to break through my limited thinking. I had to break through the belief that I couldn't do this. And the truth is, you can do anything you put your mind to. You can do anything you want. You just have to decide and go do it. And once I made that decision, that's when things started clicking. So.
Awesome. All right, so we're wrapping this up, guys. This is the end of the 29-minute Hangout. We've hit our limit. It goes by real quick when we do this. Follow us here at the Elite Marketing Chefs on Google Plus page. If you guys like this page and follow us, you'll get updates on all of our Hangouts that we do with top industry leaders as we interview them and pick their brains for the best of the best. And you also can find us on iTunes on the 29-minute Hangout. Doug, you got anything to add to the wrap-up?
I'll let you take it away.
All right, guys, then we're out. We'll see you next week. We got Nick Hobner joining us next week, so see us then. We'll see you guys next week on the 29-minute Hangout.